is Feel back to you, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And you're gonna want to be notified because I'm bringing you the best of the interwebs for your fun and amusement. So today we're going to be talking about Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery, a truly awful television show. An awful television show. And it's actually, it gets a lot worse if you happen to like Star Trek. If you like Star Trek, it's a lot worse. So they just finished the third season. I reviewed every episode, and it was torture. It was absolute torture. But amazingly, mind-meltingly, it was slightly better than season 2, which is unbelievably bad. Unbelievably. Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery would turn you to stone if you watch. Yeah, not in the good way. Well, I tell you, the first 10 episodes are quite like. So anyway, those little scamps over at Screenrant have written an article telling us why it's the bestest ever! The bestest ever! And the reason they think it's the bestest ever is because it's just cram full of agonizingly stupid identity politics. Just like agonizingly stupid identity politics. That's my guess. We're going to read the article together. Maybe have a bit of a chuckle. Before we get there though, can you hit the like button? That'd be really good. And you know what? Can you hit it even if you don't like it? You know, it doesn't matter if you lie to YouTube. They're fine with it. They're totally cool. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. That's really it's just an incredible solid that you're doing. Every YouTuber when you do that. Thank you very much. And listen, I guess it's no secret. It's no secret that we are under the watchful eye of Big Brother in terms of big tech, in terms of social media, and the only way that teeny tiny independent voices such as myself can in any way compete in any way, shape, or form with like these massive multinational corporations is if you hit the subscribers. If you can hit subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Do it for another YouTuber as well. You know, go ahead, make their day. It does. It actually genuinely really makes my day. I see that it goes up one, I go, ooh, I get excited. It goes down, I get excited. And it's very true. That actually really genuinely happens. Right, so if you do subscribe, other than thanking you very much, you also get to enter my weekly competitions. Prize this week is a bit of a darn good one. It is Terminator, the special edition, the classic James Cameron movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger that made both their careers a bit of a step up from Piranha 2. I think that's the movie you did before, was it? All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel. Subscribe and in the comments leave the hashtag Hunter Killer. That's the name of those little funky little things that would kill the humans in the flash forward sequence of Terminator. Hashtag Hunter Killer. Go check the video notes right there. Everything you need to know to win it is right there. Also, go click on the link to my Indiegogo. Click the Indiegogo, add your email address to it, and fabulous things will happen. Fabulous things will happen to one and all. Fabulous things are not happening over Star Trek Discovery, right? It's so unbelievably painfully bad. But Screenrant begs to differ. Screenrant says, why Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is the show's best yet? No, the show's best yet were the first 10 episodes, right? Those first 10 episodes, which I think were pretty much using Brian Fuller's notes influence, they were pretty good. I quite like those first 10 episodes. It kind of fell off a cliff pretty shortly thereafter, especially Season 2. Oh my God, Season 2 was agony, absolutely agony, as was Season 3. I mean, listen, if you like a lot of crying in space, this might be they might be for you. You know, I think I was Warp Drive. I'm on the Warp Drive podcast, and I think Dan Hadley, who hosts that, said there was 7 out of the 10 episodes, 7 out of 12 episodes, 8 out of 12 episodes, which had the main characters crying in it. A lot. I think that's more than any Star Trek before. So lots of crying in space. If that's your bag, man, if that's your bag, it's like, listen, if you are like driven by identity politics, are a lady, or very much want to be a lady, or act like a lady. By that I mean you could be a trans woman, because we know that trans women are women, or you could just be an emancipated male feminist cuck. You could be that too. You're gonna like this show. Other than that, I don't think so. Star Trek Discovery Season 3 represents a massive departure from the show's past. Not really. I mean, no. From the show, from the other two seasons, or from the rest of Star Trek? Because I'll say no to both, because both of them are like massively detached from the rest of. I don't consider it Star Trek at all. In fact, the way to understand Star Trek Discovery is, you see this main character over here, Michael Burnham. We don't know why she's called Michael. It's just because you shouldn't ask these questions. But it's her paranoid, delusional view of reality, I think, where she is literally the bestest ever, and everything good comes out of her. She is just a font of wonderfulness. She's the worst Mary Sue I've ever seen. She's worse than Rey from Star Wars, who is like just a painful Mary Sue. But with a high risk comes high reward. They didn't take any risk, and they didn't make any rules. So no, season 3 is Discovery's best. Listen. Firstly, it's not. But secondly, it's not really. That much to be impressed. It's like having Life in the Warsaw Ghetto for the Jews. Anyway, Life in the Warsaw Ghetto was somewhat better than life in like Auschwitz or Dachau. But still, the Warsaw Ghetto wasn't really saying saying you want to go. Oh, I wish you were here. No, nobody said that. Star Trek says, but if you wonder what life was like in the Warsaw Ghetto. Great movie, and I'm not really a big Holocaust movie guy. Great movie though is was it Pianist? The Pianist. I knew a couple of people who were there. They said that's pretty much spot on. They nailed it pretty much 100% accurately. Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is the strongest outing Burnham and the gang have had yet. No, here's why. It's because you're a identity politics-driven insane person, is why you think so. Since debuting on CBS All Access in 2017, Star Trek Discovery's stylistic thematic changes to the established format have caused much division. What? They made it crap? Yeah, people didn't like it being crap. Yeah, that caused division. However, but the people who were also driven by identity politics, they were okay with being crap because it was full of identity politics. With serialized storytelling, Starfleet Strife, listen, Picard is like, I don't understand how you're even saying it's set in the same universe, right? It's so incredibly different. And surprising swearing, it's not surprising, it's what the idiot children who run the world do today. Star Trek's marked a distinctly modern dawn for the franchise. How's that go, by the way? CBS, are you releasing the ratings of this juggernaut you're spending $1 million on per minute? No, you're not. Actually, you're keeping those very, very quiet. And when those ratings do come out, they kind of not entirely true, are they? Manipulating them just a little bit there, just a little bit, aren't you? So it's not really going on, but hasn't necessarily been to everyone's taste. Hasn't been to many people's taste. Regardless, critical opinion held steady during Star Trek Discovery's first 2 seasons. Well, no, we all said it was awful. And the new chapter in Gene Roddenberry's ongoing mission, don't sully Gene Roddenberry's name with this garbage, became the biggest thing CBS in-house streaming service had to offer. It was that, The Good Wife, or Twilight Zone, I think Good Wife probably did better, or was it Good Fight, or whatever it was. Streaming service, assuring Discovery of the future on the ever-expanding Starfleet. I honestly, I think Western civilization is about to fall because of things like Star Trek Discovery. So, that's going to be very bad. But on the upside, there's going to be no more Star Trek Discovery if that happens. That's a good thing. The recent conclusion of Star Trek Discovery Season 3 picks up with the main crew disorientated and displaced. So disorientated, Mary Wiseman, who plays Tilly, Captain Tilly, as it turns out by the end of the season, after going through a wormhole into the future, put on about 50 pounds. It's incredible. It's incredible. Nobody else was affected the same way, and they didn't really explain it in the story setting. But Mary Wiseman did go on record and say, anybody who tries to body shame me for being such a hugely fat woman it's just a mini pants. Well, thank you, Mary Wiseman. Thank you for enlightening us with your many years of wisdom. Disorientated, struggling to find their way in an unfamiliar world, with Saru as captain. Discovery embarks on the usual string of daring rescue missions and space dogfights. That is not usual for Star Trek. Okay, daring rescue missions, maybe. Space dogfights, no. No. In fact, go back and watch Best of Both Worlds Part 2, which was the biggest dogfight anybody ever seen up until that time, which was still brilliant. You got like one shot of a shuttle leaving and beaming in to get Picard, right? Ultimately, battling to victory against Osira and the Emerald Chain, who actually I ended up rooting for much more. They seem to be a much more peaceful and progressive group than the Federation. Villains who seized upon the galactic dilithium shortage to cast an interplanetary stranglehold in the Federation's absence. Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is a clear departure from what came before. Yeah, okay, because Star Trek Discovery keeps reinventing itself because nobody wants to watch it because it's garbage, right? So they have to keep trying reinventing it. Thankfully, those risks paid off. No, leading the Discovery to the most successful season so far. So how are we defining successful, right? Did it cause less people to commit suicide? Maybe. I would like to see those stats, though. I would like to see those stats. The maiden voyage, in its maiden voyage, Star Trek Discovery still shows some rough edges, and that was much better for it. And in same can be said for season 2. Season 2 was they forgot plot points, not from episode to episode, and not just vital plot points, right? But they forgot it from between scene and scene. Everything was based around having like a big dramatic moments without it actually having to make any bloody sense whatsoever, right? But there was that. The latest run may not have been perfect. Those new uniforms are less 32nd century utopia and more Amazon fulfillment center. I thought of them more as like they're more like 1930s Germany. National Socialist branch of McDonald's, right? That's what the new uniforms look like at the end. But many of the criticisms that plagued the first two seasons have been resolved. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of new awful, right? All new terrible things going on. Showing huge improvements in character, no. Structure, no. Storytelling, no. And again, this work. I think Star Trek Discovery Season 3 works as like a very feminine drama, like. What's that crap my wife watches? That I can't say. Like, This Is Us, right? Like, very feminine, feminine-led drama. But most women aren't going to watch it because they don't really like the spaceships, right? They don't really like the spaceships. Well, they like the hospitals, but they don't like the spaceships, the girlies. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. By far the most important change to Star Trek Discovery makes in the third season is moving the action to the distant future. Yes, this was something they listened to because people hated them messing around with Canon and screwing it up. Back in 2016, when it was originally when it was announced that Star Trek Discovery was going to be set 10 short years before the original series, fans nervously wondered whether the new show could avoid treading on its on the toes of its predecessor. So yeah, I just viewed it as being in a different reality, being its own universe, right? Because it was so fundamentally didn't fit into the original run. 5 years later, it's clear that no, it couldn't. From the updated Klingon design. I kind of like that, actually. A lot of people hated the Klingon orcs. To me, they look like Klingons. I like that whole texturing of the whole Klingon culture. I thought that I know real hardcore Trekkers all hated it. I quite liked it. It didn't seem to me any more of a jarring difference between the redesigning the makeup between Star Trek the Motion Picture and the original series for the Klingons, and then redesigning it again for Star Trek, was it 2 or 3? Star Trek 3. It's all the same thing to me. Like, that didn't jar me, in any way. The muting Starfleet officers. She didn't really mute. That's the thing. She started off being a Mary Sue in the first episode when she mutinied to save the ship and to avoid a war, right? Because she was the bestest ever. And she was right. Unfortunately, it involves in Joju getting killed. So then she accepted upon herself prison because she felt bad. Whatever the stupidity was. Star Trek season 2 tried to retcon, rewrite everything in turn. Not only disroll the audience, but also meant writers were restricted by 50 years of dense mythology. Only you can probably write around that if you had this really rare thing that nobody has in Hollywood now called talent. Go back and read some Harlan Ellison scripts from the 60s. Just when they put them out. They reek of talent. Star Trek season 2 tried to retcon itself free from these inconsistencies, but the podcast did terribly. But the more time spent plugging lore holes, the less Star Trek Discovery could be dedicated to forging its own path. That's fair. And the decision made to move it to a relatively untouched 32nd century for season 3. And they got bored of the fanboys screaming, "That doesn't make any bloody sense!" But we still scream that because a lot of it doesn't make sense. The new setting makes a world of difference. Well, it's a new world it's in. Star Trek Discovery Season 3 revels in the freedom of the fresh timeline, able to introduce planets, characters, and storylines without worrying whether it will contradict. Yeah, okay, we understand. They screwed up a lot with Canon, and they need to go onto a blank canvas because people writing it are essentially morons. And West Side Story, the first 2 seasons were forced to rely on technology that viewers were already intimately familiar with. The 30-second introduced a plethora of new gadgets. No, it doesn't. It just makes them more zippy, right? The comm badge is now a tricorder and a personal transporter, and that doesn't really work. It just didn't really work. I was sorry, sense of sci-fi one. No, it didn't. Okay, go away. Burnham is a more assured protagonist. Burnham is out. Tree, mate. Burnham is insane. None of this you see happening. I mean, I know none of it's real, but none of what you see is happening is actually happening. This is her insanity-driven delusions. But let's see why she's a more assured protagonist. I mean, God, look at this. This costume is terrible. Let's fly. That's a lot. Oh God, I hated it. Since engaging in the zombie apocalypse for six exchanges of zombie apocalypse for a position of Starfleet, Sonequa Martin Green has seized the responsibility of the lead protagonist and turned Michael Burnham into a fascinating layered. I mean, she's crazy. She bursts into tears, has massive mood swings, and then goes around punching people in the face. She's crazy. She's absolutely crazy. Completely assured in her worldview. Has no thought that anybody else's worldview could possibly be valid. I heard who was it? I don't listen to that much so more. Ben Shapiro describe Barack Obama, and I thought it was really accurate. He said, he said, either you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, then it's because I'm not explaining it well enough, or you're a racist. That's one of the two, because I'm right. And that's basically how Burnham goes through life. She's over and over again proved that she's right. That she solves this galaxy-wide problem of the burn. She fixes it. She reunifies Starfleet. Everything she does. Everybody suffers without Michael Burnham in the world. And no, she's not led. Still evolving 3 seasons. At no point in Star Trek Discovery has Burnham been weak or boring. Well, that's true. Okay, she hasn't been boring. Crazy people rarely are. But the improvement made between her Season 1 mutiny, wasn't really mutiny on the Shinzu, and her promotion to captain in Season 3, which was ridiculous, finale, is impossible to deny. While Michael Burnham's first appeared, she retained telltale traits of strict Vulcan upbringing, intensely intelligent and kind, but lacking social connections. First Vulcans would deem illogical. Burnham's human qualities have graduated and moved to the fore, but not until after starting time jump Burnham truly into her own. Yeah, okay. After crash landing in the future. Okay, so there's a scene in the first episode, right, where she's made this super Iron Man costume that can time travel and then send objects through time because she's the bestest ever. She comes through this time hole and she crashes onto a planet, right? And then what does she do? She's trying to work something out. And they film this all in Iceland because it looks like spacey or whatever. And then this was your boy Zach's thought on it. It said, "Okay, I want you to give a really massive emotion." He said, "What type of emotional reaction?" I don't know, just do whatever you think. She did like 4 or 5 different emotional reactions, and then they used all of them. They used all of them. Because she's crazy. She's absolutely crazy. They spent an entire year waiting for Discovery's arrival. They act like she spends 50 years searching for them. Yeah, they have no conception of anything being earned in Star Trek Discovery. They're just nothing at all. She becomes a courier alongside Cleveland Booker by the time her ship turns up. Yeah, that was a bit of luck, wasn't it? I think more likely he'll be languishing in one of the slave pits of the Orions. Again, that's probably what's really going on in the story. She's probably in like an Orion slave camp, and this is all her bizarre, tortured imaginations. Better use of villains. Let me think. Who was a villain? Nah. I mean, Betty's a villain. Look, this villain turned out to be a hero. She's built up as a villain, and then she goes to Starfleet and say, "We want to make peace. We're going to offer you everything. We're going to get rid of slavery and all the things you don't like, and we're going to work together to bring warp travel back to the galaxy. I have the resources. You have this technology. We can work together, and this is instead of going to war and me beating the crap out of you. They say, yeah, let's all make peace, and they go, no, because you need to be punished because you were a mini pants." It was insane. It was insane. Osira the Orion and the Emerald Chain make Star Trek Discovery villains complement in season 3. While the bright green baddie won't go down as a classic character by any means. No, the chain allow for a shift towards slightly more episodic storytelling. Yeah, they're basically working out how to do Discovery, right? How to do Star Trek. Like, oh yeah, people liked it being episodic. For starting with the debut season, the main villains were shaped by the Klingons and Gabriel Lorca. Yeah, they were both better. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm just skipping because this is just too stupid for words. Moreover, both villains dictate Star Trek Discovery's early season-long arcs. The Klingon War and the Mirror Universe Invader. Season 2 copied the format with Control. Oh, that was awful. With the Control, an AI that wasn't an AI that wanted to become an AI. Okay, that's great. Because you love science, right? You love science. Star Trek Discovery third season firmly established Osira as the main villain, but she's largely absent presence, appearing only in a handful of episodes before the final showdown, which was awful. It was awful. So Michael Burnham is in this fight. She's in a turbo lift inside Discovery, inside the spaceship, right? And she climbs out on top of the turbo lift. And you know what's on top of a turbo lift? Apparently, the turbo lifts aren't going through like lift shafts. They're traveling through. Inside the Discovery is a massive, like planet-sized city. Like it's a massive. It's just, it's bigger. Discovery is clearly bigger on the inside because the people are making it. Morons, absolute morons. Osira becomes an ominous background threat, whereas previous seasons they constructed entirely around a certain villain with less visible enemies. Star Trek Discovery becomes more episodic in season 3. That did help it. There were episodes based on the frozen mining planet and an Emerald Chain Prism, a Quajan, the Trill. Who cares? Navarre. Oh, that was awful. The Navarre court hearing. Absolutely. That's the Vulcans and Romulans joined together. It was just awful. Discovery's supporting crew are way more interesting. No. Discovery's supporting crew, and I worked out in the final episode who they were. They were led by Tilly. And they were essentially the Muppet Babies. Remember the Muppet Babies? They're kind of like soft, kind of rounded corner Muppet-ish versions of the Muppet. That's who they are. These are like soft baby versions of Star Trek crew. then they're played by people who have no business, doing anything other than being in ads. Like all the people you're seeing in this picture here, they'll be fine if they're like turning around at saying 1-800-GEICO, or like, can I get you fries with that? Whatever. If they were the mother in the minivan, these people do not have the dramatic chops in any way, shape, or form to deliver nuance. So no, they're not very good. Star Trek Discovery. Season 1 established the core of the crew. Burnham, Saru, Tilly, and Stamets, and then a bunch of other people who you really didn't get to know the names till this season. Season 2, Rafton and gang from the Enterprise, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Pike. Is that Stranger Worlds happening? I doubt it. Well, it may not have been part of the start of Borg uprising that some predicted. Detmer's PTSD and subsequent recovery, and it wasn't good. It wasn't convincing at all. Add a new layer to Star Trek Discovery's Discovery pilot, while Kuba, the Dr. Gay, who was his only characteristic was being perfect and gay, a smiling gay man, like he's just being, hi, I'm super gay. While Kuba comes into his own as the ship's voice of reason. Similar to the Entree Next Generation. No. Listen, like the Entree Next Generation. Nobody said anything about it because, listen. The great thing about the 23rd century is that everyone's in very, very good shape and they like spandex, and it just worked well on Marina Sirtis in the late 80s. We all kind of like that. Dr. Gay is not like Deanna Troy at all. The entire British crew come together to retake their ship from Osira after it's lost by Tilly when she's made captain for no sane reason whatsoever, and everybody stands around and goes, "Oh, Tilly, you're the bestest ever." Until Tilly says to Michael Burnham, "You're the bestest ever. You should be the captain now." Season 4 books in view. Characters previously known as that guy on Metal Eye Pilot now feel like close friends. No, I still no. And the new characters aren't bad either. Yes, they are. This character being a great example of a character that's really, really bad. Now she plays like a 16-year-old girl who has a 16-year-old boyfriend who act like they've been married for 50 years. Nothing is ever earned in the series. As well as making better use of existing cast, Star Trek Discovery makes some shrewd new additions. Yet you like her because she says in like the second, third episodes in that she's non-binary. She's they, them. It's just stupid. And of course they then segregate people because people in identity politics, they love segregation. They love their segregation. So they put the black people together. They put the gay people together. She's in the little gay compound. How did you describe the book? Also, book wasn't bad. Book was kind of like a cut price Idris Elba who then got cut. So if ever they have a black man in TV, in the TV that these morons make, he's got to be an effeminate cuck, right? That's the only type of black man that they can make. That's an effeminate cuck. Admiral Vance was okay for a couple of episodes till he turned into Admiral Arsehole. And then at the end he said, "Oh, Michael Burnham, I thought you were a baddie at the beginning, but now I see you're the bestest ever. Here, take this most valuable ship in the galaxy because it's yours and let's fly." So Adira Tar and Gray was awful. That was her boyfriend of 50 years who she's known for 6 months. It was just awful. The cruise dynamic without echoing the well-documented missteps of the Next Generation Wesley Crusher. Way worse than Wesley. Using Star Trek history more effectively. No, Star Trek Discovery is always at its absolute worst when it's walking around in Star Trek lore and not understanding it. So you see, look, this realization of the Guardian of Forever, very good. Like a lot of stuff is very, very good. But in terms of like the design, but the writing is shockingly stupid. So the Guardian of Forever is now this guy in a bowler hat who can make it the garden be bigger, and he's around. They bring him in for 2 episodes so they can send Michelle Yeoh off into her own series, which again I don't think it's going to happen. They talk about, okay, I'm skimming at this point because this is killing me, because that's how bad this is. They talk about the unification of Navarre, which is Vulcan and Romulans. That's actually not a bad idea. That was actually a halfway okay idea. Just done badly, which, I would say most of Discovery. And, now they're going to wrap up the argument about why season 3 was the best as ever. Grudge the cat. Grudge the cat, she's a queen. Exactly. Not very Star Trek-y. Listen, it's not the best season of Star Trek. That was Star Trek Discovery. That was the first one. It's not the worst one. That's the second one. Is it watchable TV? No, it's not that. It's not watchable TV either. It's freaking awful. So, Screenrant, thank you for providing us with another article that shows us that your head is quite firmly screwed, put right up your ass. So I hope it's comfy up there. My name is Sheila Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. So you're notified when new videos drop.